A devastating fire has made a large impact on the Valparaiso community.
And as this school year is coming to a close, new officers are being elected in organizations around campus.
And rain will dampen your Cinco de Mayo plans for this evening.
We have that and more. This edition of 15 News at 5 starts right now. Thank you for joining us on 15 News at 5. I'm Tabitha Bartoe.
And I'm Natalie Vernon.
Well, it was a very long Friday last week on Valparaiso University's campus. Just before the festivities of Valpo Vibes, a fire broke out at the Art and Psychology building. I have more on the story. Last Friday was a sad day for many students, faculty, and staff in the Art and Psychology departments. At approximately 4:30 p.m. on Friday, officers responded to a call of smoke and broken windows at the Art and Psychology building. Students stopped and stared as they were making their way to Valpo Vibe festivities, as firefighters blocked off the area of the building along with Cronky and Dickmeyer halls. As we arrived at the scene, firefighters were working hard in the rain to stop the progression of the fire. It is still burning pretty heavily, and we have several fire engines on campus right now, and even some of their fire hydrants have run out of water, so they're thinking of other ways to defeat the flames. After 10 long hours of fighting the fire, the building is left with heavy damage and lost creations of students and staff.
After a long and ambitious student Senate campaign, we finally have our Senate set for next year. Alexa Minton has more on the story.
As the school year begins to wind down, most students are looking forward to next year and looking for impactful change on Valparaiso University's campus. Recently, Valparaiso held student senate elections, opening seat opportunities for student senators across the board, and additionally, student body president and student body vice president. Candidacy for student body vice president was left uncontended, allowing Ian Chenoweth to secure the spot. However, there was a bit of competition when it came to student body president. Both Sophia Behrens, Jr. Rising Senior, and Allison Howard, Sophomore Rising Junior, had multiple debates and had a fierce campaign in order to fight for the student body president seat.
It definitely wasn't unexpected that I was contested because, at least my experience in Valpo, each student body president position has been contested. When Allison stepped in, I had kind of a mixed reaction. I was like, oh no, like this is going to make this so much harder. But at the same time, I was like, I'm okay with this because Allison is also such a great leader. Like I know the student senate will be in great hands either way. And overall, in a contested election, I just tried to stay ahead of the curve. I tried to prepare for what was coming next. So I prepared heavily for the debates. I also prepared heavily for like any kind of like on-campus campaigning I would need to do. And I sent a lot of emails and tried to reach out to student orgs as well.
Elections were held on April 20th, and students could vote from their emails on which candidate they would like to see make a change. However, something was unique about this election process. Both Sophia Behrens and Ian Chenoweth were studying abroad at the time of their election campaign, making it a unique campaign for both candidates.
I had kind of made the decision that I wanted to go for this position in the fall semester. And so I started thinking about what that meant. And I knew I would have to have a larger social media and also just online presence as compared to an on-campus presence. What I did is I set up an Instagram account. I made sure I was posting very regularly on it and also following and interacting with as many Valpo students I could find, both that I knew or maybe in corners of campus that I didn't know as well. And I also hired on campaign managers that helped me with some of the on-campus campaigning. And so they were able to do a lot of the things like chalking sidewalks and stuff like that. I just want to say that I am so honored that Valparaiso students has chosen me and elected me as their next student body president. I'm really excited for what I get to do with this next student senate. I get to put their the bylaws that they've written and help them put that into actual practice. I think it's going to be an amazing year and that we are going to accomplish a lot. And I am just so honored to be among such incredible leaders and to continue a tradition of excellency within the student body presidency.
Now that the student body president and student body vice president seats have been filled, we are excited to move forward as a student body and head into the next school year. For VU15 News, I'm Alexa Minton.
Well, as the school year comes to a close, the residence halls and apartments will be closing. The halls close at noon on Saturday, May 14th. Everyone must be out of the building unless you are approved for extended stay housing. If you are staying for graduation, you must be out by Monday, May 16th at 9 a.m. Move-in for summer housing also begins at 9 a.m. on the same day. If there is one important thing to keep in mind as you move out of housing, it is to avoid room charges at all costs. Room charges will be assessed after move-out when ResLife expects rooms for damage. Room charges can also be assessed for not properly cleaning a space. If you are a student that lives more than 500 miles from Valpo, there is an option to store some of your belongings within the hall you will be living in next year. As you are moving out, donation bins will be available at a designated location within your residence hall. Gently used items can go in the blue Goodwill bins in traditional halls.
This past weekend, the Student Organization Awards happened, and last night, the Fraternity Sorority Life Awards were presented as well. On Sunday, the student organizations around campus were awarded many awards, including the Greatest Stride Award, the Community Builder Award, and so much more. This year, Alliance won Organization of the Year. At the Fraternity Sorority Awards last night, they awarded Sigma Pi Epsilon with Fraternity of the Year and Kappa Kappa Gamma with Sorority of the Year. Congratulations to all of the winners and to everyone for a great year.
This week's poll is out. What are your plans for the summer? A, traveling. B, spending time at the beach or the pool. C, working. Or D, sleeping in. Head on over to our Twitter page after the broadcast to cast your vote. We have 15 Weather's Kolton Woods.
And that rain will only continue into the overnight hours, and it will also continue throughout the day tomorrow. But thankfully, a pleasant weekend is in store, and that includes Mother's Day as well. So great weather is anticipated for all those moms out there. And then summer weather is expected next week with temperatures soaring into the 80s for the last week of school. Now our live look across Valpo, you can see it's really raining outside right now, and that will continue into the overnight hours as well. So if you have any evening plans for Cinco de Mayo, expect to bring an umbrella out there. And you can see the cooler temperatures are across the area where it is raining. Valpo is one of the cooler spots across the region with warmer temperatures even to our north because they aren't seeing any rain either. And switching over to radar, you can see rain is moving into the area. After a little lull in the precipitation, we'll have heavier rain move in throughout the rest of your evening. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Kolton. We're looking for Thanks, Kolton. Looking for a historical piece of clothing for your closet? A famous gown is up for auction.
And as the war in Ukraine rages on, there are more heroes than just our soldiers. Stick with us. As there have been so many horrific events occurring in Ukraine, a champion dog sled racer decided to risk his life to save the lives of some beloved furry friends. Tara Campbell has more on the story.
The face of one of dozens of dogs rescued in Ukraine by one of the world's best sled dog racers. Poland's Igor Traks taking to social media to offer up help.
And I posting on Facebook information. Hey, if somebody needs my help, I have a special trucks, perfect transport for dogs who need evacuating from Ukraine. And I just go next day.
Igor and a team of close friends are evacuating dogs left in the shadows of war.
One time I transporting dog without legs after bombing. Yes, we try fighting about his life, but we lost him.
They've managed to save roughly 250 dogs and cats, while also delivering 60 tons of food and supplies to shelters and individuals in need.
Always when we back with dogs, with cats, with kids, and with women. because they need evacuating.
And helping to keep these efforts going is one Bay Area woman with a big heart for dogs.
I had a business for over 25 years in San Francisco. I had a doggy daycare and a dog training facility, and I just love dogs.
When Jenny Tess saw what was going on in Ukraine, her instinct was to get over there. But a battle with chronic Lyme disease nearly stole her life. It also put her on the sidelines.
I experienced an illness not long ago, and it prevents me from really doing search and rescue work anymore. So I called Igor.
Organizing a fundraiser to help fund the fuel to get these dogs over the border and into safe shelter.
The fundraiser is to keep him on the road. He's got shelter on wheels because of what he does in the World Championships. Sponsors are giving free dog food. It's just perfect. So I really want to keep him moving.
And as for Igor, well, he's talking to us from France, where he just won his 8th World Championship and will soon be back to the rescue in Ukraine. Tara Campbell, ABC 7 News.
There is no place like home, and soon one famous prop from The Wizard of Oz will have a new one. Film will be auctioned off next month in Los Angeles and could sell for upwards of $1.2 million. This week, it's been on display at Bonham's Auction House in New York City. They say dozens of people have come to see it and snap photos before it's shipped across the country next week. According to Bonham's Auction House, it's one of 5 dresses that are known to still exist, but only 2 of them, including this one, are attached to the white blouse. Judy Garland wore this particular dress during the scene in the Wicked Witch's castle, and her name is inscribed inside the fabric. Last year, a retired drama professor at the Catholic University of America discovered the dress while going through boxes from his former office. Turns out it was donated to the school back in 1973. The auction is set for May 24th.
After 7 decades and a journey across the world, a Pennsylvania Veterans Class ring is home again. A Dutch Army officer made the long trip to the U.S. to reunite the ring with its long-lost family. Brandon Goldner has the story.
Ah, finally.
So good to meet you.
Yes, good to meet you too.
It's a meeting 70 years, 3 continents, 1 ring in the making.
It feels like Lord of the Rings, you know. I have to give it away, you know, but it's so precious.
This precious class ring belonged to Melissa Jenkins' great uncle, Joseph Sullivan, a 1946 graduate of St. James Catholic High School who fought in the Korean War.
How the ring ended up in the Netherlands, that's something we will never know, unfortunately.
What we do know, during the war, a Dutch soldier somehow got a hold of Sullivan's class ring. He then gave it to a different Dutch soldier, who shared that story a few years ago to Dutch Lieutenant Colonel Jos Groen. He made it his mission to return the ring. Using its markings as a guide, he discovered it came from Chester's St. James Catholic High. The Alumni Association posted a photo of it on Facebook, which Jenkins immediately recognized as her great-uncle's class ring.
And I'm happy that I can bring it back to the family.
Despite pledging allegiance to different flags, Lieutenant Colonel Groen says American and Dutch veterans share a close bond, especially after World War II.
You fought for our liberation, so we think we should always do something back for American veterans. So I'm very happy and honored to be here.
We very much appreciate all the time you took, all the communication, your tenacity. It means a lot to us.
The end of one ring's journey, only the beginning of a lifelong friendship.
21 nations took part in the Korean War, and Dutch soldiers contributed to the UN forces, and 123 of them lost their lives fighting in Korea. More than 33,000 American troops died in the conflict.
Planet Fitness says teenagers get fit for free at their facilities this summer. The national gym chain announced the High School Summer Pass initiative Monday. The new initiative allows high schoolers to work out at any of its locations this summer break for free. Planet Fitness says any teen ages 14 through 19 can participate. All they have to do is visit a Planet Fitness location or go to their website and sign up for the program. Those under the age of 18 are required to have a parent with them, and a parent must sign a waiver. Once they do that, the teens can work out alone. The high school summer pass initiative kicks off May 16th and lasts through August 31st.
And coming up after the break, Kolton Woods will have your full forecast.
And we'll take a look at this week's past Valpo sports. Stick with us.
Currently, right now, it's raining across the area, so if you have any Cinco de Mayo plans, unfortunately, you'll have to bring an umbrella or a rain jacket. And you can see our current temperatures. Valpo right now is cooler at 52 right now, thanks to that rain-cooled air, but to the north of us, they're seeing temperatures closer to 60 degrees because they aren't seeing any rain across the area. Zooming out across the nation, you can see Chicago is one of the cooler spots with 50 degrees, and then further to the south in Birmingham, they're sitting at 87, and that area is actually going to see some severe weather throughout the day today as well. And then by the time the weekend arrives, we'll tap into some of this warmer weather, thankfully. So by Mother's Day, temperatures will be in the 60s. Our future temperature shows us cooling down to around 50 degrees tonight, so temperatures won't really move a whole lot, and they won't really move a whole lot tomorrow either, sitting around 50 degrees throughout the day thanks to that rain that will persist all day throughout the day tomorrow. And then by Saturday, thankfully, as that low pressure system gets out of our way, we'll have temperatures rebound all the way into the mid-60s, so by the weekend it will start to get nicer out, and especially by Mother's Day with highs back into the mid-60s, so make sure you go outside and enjoy and spend time with your mom throughout the day on Sunday. And the radar, you can see it will be increasingly rainy throughout the evening, so if you have any Cinco de Mayo plans, like I said, we will be dealing with the rain throughout the rest of the evening and also throughout the overnight hours. But thankfully, we aren't expecting any severe weather here in Valpo. All of the severe weather will be staying off to the south, especially in Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas, where they have an enhanced risk. So if you have any relatives down there, make sure they know of the severe weather risk. And then switching back home, you can see the rain will persist into the overnight hours. By 10:30, the rain will continue. And by the time we get to Friday morning, you can see a big area of rain is expected across northwest Indiana, and that will persist throughout the afternoon hours on Friday. So Friday really won't be a good day across the area, but thankfully as that low pressure system moves out of the area, we'll start to see increasing sunshine as we get into Saturday morning. And all day Saturday will be pretty sunny, and also throughout the day on Mother's Day. Now the rainfall with this system will likely be close to an inch, so a pretty good soaking is on the way overnight and also throughout the day on Friday. Now switching over to wind gusts, you can see we will be gusting close to 40 miles per hour throughout the day tomorrow. So along with the wind and rain, tomorrow won't be a pleasant day across the area, but thankfully by Saturday, as that low pressure system moves out of the area, the winds will also die down along with plenty of sunshine. So for tonight, expect a low of 49 with rain expected as well. And then tomorrow, the rain will only stick around with a high of 55. But thankfully, your 7-day outlook shows plenty of sunshine on the way for this weekend. Mother's Day will be fabulous with highs in the mid-60s, and then 80-degree weather is expected to finish off the school year.
Well, thank you, Kolton. I'm really liking that warmer weather next week. After the break, we'll have a recap of this past week's sports with Alexa Minton.
As the 2021-2022 academic year winds to a close for your Valparaiso University Beacons, there is much to look forward to in the world of Valpo athletics. Anthony Delasanti of the men's golf team will be en route to Columbus, Ohio 2 weeks from now to compete in the NCAA Regional Tournament as a qualifier. Delasanti earned the opportunity after a strong performance at the Missouri Valley Conference Championship back on May 26th. During the championship, Delasanti went under 6 under par for the last 9 holes, knocking out the MVC Player of the Year by 1 stroke. Delasanti was named the MVC Newcomer of the Year and was also the first men's golf individual to earn medalist honors at a conference tournament since 2013. Valpo football's Robert Washington received the call of a lifetime when he was given an invitation to the National Football League's rookie minicamp for the Philadelphia Eagles. Washington, a running back with 2 stellar seasons in a Valpo uniform, got the call this past Tuesday from Randy Fisher, a Valpo alumni who also played for Valpo's football team from 1996 to 2000. In just 17 games, Washington ran for over 1,700 yards and recorded 14 rushing touchdowns, tying a record from 1977. Congratulations, Robert. The 2022 ARC Awards will be held this Sunday on May 8th in the Horror Union Ballrooms at 7:30 p.m. The awards show is for all student athletes and athletic staff, with awards being given in a variety of different categories to students, coaches, and other staff members. From VUTV Sports, thank you for joining us this academic year through all of the trials and tribulations of Valpo athletics. Here's to a year with multiple champions, loud crowds, and plenty of beacons along the way. So guys, I know we've had quite the eventful Valpo sports season. What has been your favorite moment in Valpo athletics this past year?
I really enjoyed going to the championship volleyball game in the fall. That was very fun to sit in the student section.
Oh yeah, for sure. Tabitha, what about you?
Well, I really love going to the men's basketball games because as being a part of the pep band and being there and the amount of energy that everybody brings from alumni to students to parents, it's just incredible and I love it.
I think we've been really lucky since we had a little bit of a break in our crowds from COVID. We've gotten to watch everyone kind of come back in strong with the new mascot and just cheer on Valpo.
Of course. After the break, we will have a final look at the weather with Kolton.
A rainy Friday is expected, along with a rainy evening this evening as well, but thankfully by the weekend we will have warming temperatures into the 60s, a very nice Mother's Day in store, and then to finish off the school year, we'll have temperatures all the way up into the 80s.
Well, thank you, Kolton. Hey, I have a question for you. You can answer it afterwards, but this isn't just any question this time. I asked everyone in the newsroom what their favorite memory has been with our seniors. Here were their answers.
I would have to say my favorite memory of all of the seniors is just every news show we put on. They're always a very influential part of every time we turn these lights on and produce a show.
So our 3 seniors have been absolutely amazing this year and for the time that I've known them.
The seniors have been a really influential component of my time here at VUTV.
The first time I met Demi was through Haunt, and I have had the pleasure of knowing him every year I've been at Valpo, which makes things very interesting. I watched him just this year toss a couch down a corridor for no reason other than for fun. So I think that's one of my favorite memories.
Demi, who I did not get to know well until this year, was a great productions manager, and he's done so much for us. And I'm so very thankful that they all 3 have spent so much time and put so much effort into VUTV, and we would not be where we are today.
Demi has been really ambitious this year and has really shown through VUTV by making his own show and doing all these different things and always wanting to help people, and he's very dependable, and I really appreciate him very much.
To creating his own show without even asking most of us for help, he just goes on and goes into it, and I'm very thankful for that.
It's not a VUTV show if Elliott's not floor directing, in my personal opinion, because that man is literally here every Thursday like clockwork. Ever since my first time in here where I was just a camera operator till now where I'm now sports director and mostly doing the sports, which is very exciting. But Elliott is such an essential piece to VUTV here. He does so much for us, and he's just always a behind-the-scenes worker. Never wants any credit for what he does, but the show would not run smoothly without him, and we are so thankful for him here at VUTV for all the work he's put in.
Elliott, I've got to see do so many great things while on VUTV. He's been an amazing floor director every week, and I was so honored to get to work with him. And
then Elliott, he's always been here every single time. He's always been where he needs to be when he needs to be. He's never been out of place, and I feel like he's always just there when he needs to, and he never wants to take credit for anything he does. Or never wants the credit for anything he does. He always goes above and beyond when it's needed.
And Elliott, I've never known anyone on the robotics team, and he is very passionate about it and about teaching. And I was lucky enough to see him teaching during Met Field Day, actually during COVID, when everything was online, and we were in a group together, and he just had such passion with the kids and such excitement, and it was a great thing to see.
Now, Elliott, he's quite the character. He always makes me laugh, especially when we're talking about NASCAR and always mentioning our favorite drivers, because we do have 2 drivers that neither one of us are fans of, but you know, it's still a good time nonetheless. And he is absolutely amazing. He's always here helping with productions. Even if it's a late night production, he's here being the floor director.
It's hard for me to pick a favorite memory with Natalie, but I would have to say a lot of late nights and last-minute submitted packages. Natalie has always been super comforting, always been there for us as a VUTV community, and has always been understanding when we don't necessarily turn in our packages on time.
And the first one that comes to mind pretty much is Natalie Vernon, who has been one of the rocks and the foundation of this program ever since I've come in here, and it's been starting since my sophomore year. Natalie has been the constant reminder for turning in my sports scripts on time, but not only that, she has helped me with so much throughout the meteorology department, whether it's with lab aiding for our dynamics courses, and she is just such a foundational unit of this team that I don't think VUTV would run smoothly without her. But we're going to have to make do next year, but she will be sorely, sorely missed by us and the rest of the community, both in VUTV and in the media.
Natalie specifically, I have got to see her grow in VUTV and in the Met department as well, and I would not have made it through dynamics without Natalie. And especially on VUTV, she has helped coach me in so many ways, and I cannot thank her enough for that.
Natalie I have known the longest, as she was the one who helped me transition into my assistant news director position my sophomore year, when I was pretty involved my freshman year, and I realized this is something that I want to continue for the rest of my time here at Valpo. She has been so ambitious and kind throughout the entire time that I've been here, and having her as a mentor for becoming the new news director has been something that has been very important to me.
Like Emmett said, there's no way we could run VUTV without Natalie. She's been a backbone to this e-board. She has helped me so much as I stepped into this executive director position. From my first show here as a freshman to ending my sophomore year, she has been there every time, and every time I've seen her working her butt off.
Congratulations, seniors. It's been an honor getting to know you guys and work with you so much. I really appreciated the time of all 3 of everyone and their hard work on VUTV.
So thank you to all of our seniors.
And I'm always just thankful for that. I'm thankful for these seniors.
Well, Kolton, now that you heard everyone's answers, what are your favorite memories of our senior?
For me, it's just like the whole aspect of helping us out. Like when I came here as a freshman, I was just totally confused and lost, and all 3 of the seniors really helped me. So,
well, I don't know what we're gonna do without Natalie. I know we're all trying to not tear up right now, but we're really proud of you. We're really proud of Demi and Elliott back in the control room for all the awesome work you've done. I don't know what it's going to be like without you guys, so we're really lucky to have you.
But we can't wait to see what other things they do in the future. From all of us at VUTV, thank you for joining us this week, and we'll see you next semester on 15 News. Have a great summer, Valpo.